Hi, I'm Auri'An. Today's episode is called Banking on Energy, and if you came to this episode expecting something wonderful about solar energy or money, well, that's not what we're here about. What I'm actually here to talk about is the energy that you carry inside you, that occasionally bubbles over. Energies such as anger and fear and frustration, and love, appreciation, beauty, trust, joy. When I started on this spiritual journey, I was, like many newbies, totally swamped with the information that just seemed to hit me from every side. It's a very confusing time, especially when, like me, you don't come into this gradually, but rather have a single event that catapults you straight into this strange world, and so often feels weird and alien. What I want to do today is share with you something that helped me get through this period, a trick that I learned with regards to handling energy. And even if you've been on this spiritual path for a while, it's often good to go back and review basics. I'm what some would call an extreme empath. But until I was catapulted onto my spiritual path, I didn't know that. I had no idea what an empath was or is. I just lived a life of fear that I couldn't understand. My very first spiritual teacher encouraged me to go along to a group meditation class. And that's where I started to realize that I was reacting a bit differently to everybody else. In the meditation group, we all sat on the floor in a circle. And as we were guided into the meditation, I could feel a build-up of what felt like electricity that swirled from person to person, travelling around the circle in a clockwise direction, building, becoming chaotic, until I just couldn't handle it anymore. I would start to visibly vibrate. My hands would start first, but very quickly my whole body would join in. I've been told that it looked as if I was having a seizure, and I know some people left the group because it was just too weird. It freaked them out. It didn't actually worry me. I was just observing this reaction from inside me. I was just watching, not connected to it, until the meditation ended, and that's when it would hit me. I would find myself barely able to stand. I'd be nauseous and over-emotional, overwhelmed. And I would stagger out into the street and lie on the grass verge, connecting into earth, letting all that energy sink away from me. Sometimes I'd even vomit. Almost always, I would be crying. You might ask, why did I keep going? I actually have no answer to that, except a driving need to learn. But I was also very aware that I needed to do something about this problem. It was too much. The classes were held in a New Age shop, and one day, just before a class, I was considering buying a Shiva Lingam stone that was drawing itself towards me. It was big. It was about 6 inches long, and it felt steady and secure. I went into the meditation class holding that stone. At the time, I didn't know much at all about stones or crystals, or the way that they can assist us. But during the meditation, holding that stone, I realised I was able to transfer all that swirling energy into the stone. I didn't have to absorb it. I could simply let it pass through me into the stone. I was still very much a newbie on this path and just didn't really understand what was happening. All I was really aware of was it was a lot better when I was holding that stone. And I didn't have this indescribable urge to go outside and throw up. A few months later, on Facebook, I met a lady who was to become my new teacher. Essence Catharis, founder of the International Koalition of Krones, of which I am now a Krone, became and still is my mentor, teacher, and very good friend. And she was very instrumental in my learning how to control my empathy. Out of control empathy is horrible, frightening, overwhelming, and painful. But when you can hold it in control, it's one of the most amazing gifts that starseeds bring to this planet. At the time, Essence ran a Facebook group called First Wave Blu-ray Indigo, the name of the spiritual generation that I belong to. And in that group, she shared a picture of a mandala. That mandala was for members to meditate on and to share energy into. Feelings of love, of caring, of healing were able to be deposited into that mandala whenever we wanted to. A bit like popping it into a bank account. The energy was held within that mandala for anyone to use when needed. When feeling unwell, worried, stressed, anxious, concerned about a loved one, members could draw upon that energy for self or to redirect towards others or where disastrous events were happening in the world. I made the same connection between that mandala and my Shiva Lingam. For me, it was a duh moment. Previously, I hadn't made the connection that if you keep putting energy into something, that you can probably pull it back out when needed. Just like your bank account. And this is also where I learned one of the most important things that a newbie or a neophyte must come to understand. That energy is just that. Energy. It's not good energy or bad energy. It's not light or dark or negative or positive. It's just energy. It's how we use the energy that makes the difference. So, into my stone would go this chaotic, swirling, overwhelming energy that I was picking up from those around me. Into the stone went my fears and my angers, my troubles, my doubts, my frustrations. Into the stone went that amazing energy emotion of Eugen. Into the stone went the energy of appreciation and gratitude, of joy and love and peace. The stone would sit next to my workspace. And when I hit one of those times where everything is just too much and you want to throw something or scream, well, you have something heavy and handy. If you must throw something, though I don't really recommend it. you simply take a deep breath and bring yourself to center, and then draw the energy in through your breath and feel it traveling through your body, energizing yet calming. I found this to be a great tool to help me get my empathic side under control. I still have a stone sitting on my desk, although I haven't had to use it as this type of tool for quite a few years now. It's there if I'm feeling troubled or overwhelmed. I can just reach for that stone to hold. I prefer big stones that sit heavily in my hand, filling the palm. I also like plain ordinary stones that I find on the beach or in the garden. You don't always need expensive crystals. A chunk of granite is fantastic. I'm going to end this episode with a sort of meditation so that you can experience this for yourself. And I will put a timestamp on the start of the meditation so that you can come back to it whenever you want to. To prepare, you need to find something that you can use as a repository for this energy. It doesn't have to be anything special. As mentioned, I prefer to use a stone I picked up out of the garden or off the beach. You might want to use a favourite crystal or a piece of driftwood, or focus on a picture that you find appealing. A mandala is good for this. I've used Essence's mandala, and I made one of my own for my own use. As long as it feels right to you, you're good to go. So let's do this. Find somewhere comfortable to sit down. Have your stone or whatever else you've chosen in your hand, or both hands even, or at least close by. And bring yourself to center. By that I mean allow your body to relax. Close your eyes if you wish. Mentally check through all the areas that hold tension. Your shoulders, neck, jaw, around your eyes. Check upper back, thighs and feet. And just allow yourself to relax. Take a deep breath in and then exhale. And in your own timing, do that twice more. Allow yourself to observe how you are feeling emotionally. You don't need to connect into it, just watch it as if you're looking at yourself from the outside. Recognize the emotions that are big. It doesn't matter what they are. Beautiful emotions or not. I'm going to leave you for a few moments to simply observe them. Try not to get caught up in them. Just recognize what you are feeling. imagine moving those emotions through your body, down your arms and into your hands. You may feel as if your hands are heavy or hot, or you might feel something as if it's swirling around in your palms. This is all perfectly normal. Allow your hands to hover over your stone or other item, or hold it in your hand, and imagine that energy moving out of your hands and into the stone. As it passes into the stone, it really does become pure energy. Anything that we hold, that we call negative, is neutralized. It's like recharging a battery. And now that it is safely stored, you don't have to carry it around with you anymore. I'm going to leave you with this for a few moments. Like a battery, that energy, and remember it is just energy, it's neutral. It can be used for recharging you when you need it. To do that, bring yourself to center, focus on your item, and breathe the energy into you, allowing it to pass through your body and bring you feelings of calm and peace and love and joy. And now that you are all relaxed, I'm just going to leave the music running for a little while longer and then end this episode in silence. But do please remember to like and subscribe and check out the info below. Thank you for joining me. I'm I'm Auri'An. Guy Sheehan.